Alright, well, I'm watching SmackDown as we speak, but I just figured I'd give my thoughts on this for a minute. Talking about my thoughts on some of the releases, because I keep getting messages left and right about it, even though some of them are already seen. And which, by the way, I guess is a good idea. I'm doing this because I don't really care about the upcoming segment that's on SmackDown right now. Anyways, so Braun Strowman was one of the people that got released today, and I was actually shocked about this one. You know, he was doing good with the whole one big SOB thing. You know what I mean? And Braun Strowman gets released. Anyways, so since I saw that, I was surprised. I was like, dang, ain't no way they just released Braun Strowman. I was like, they could have had good plans for Braun Strowman. You know? And one thing about it, you're going to find out a little later in this video why I don't like the release dates that they do. It's release date time, or they do this like once or twice a year or something like that. Anyways, you're going to figure out why I don't like these days here in a little bit. But this is just one of them that I was shocked by. I was shocked by Braun Strowman getting released. This one actually made my jaw drop. But anyway, let's go to the next one I want to talk about. I didn't save all of these, but I'm pretty sure you could probably find most of the releases by now. They're all over. So if I miss one, my apologies, but then again, I want to go over the ones that really stood out the most to me. This was one of them. Anyway, on to the next. Oh, by the way, you can also go to Sean Ross's Twitter account and read all the releases. So if I miss one, you can go there and find his Twitter page and find it. Anyways, so Miss Jackson, aka Jakaria Jackson, got released from WWE NXT, which is crazy because they just had a segment on NXT. Jakaria Jackson just had a segment on NXT talking about how the whole metaphor was going to go on their separate ways. You know, Jackson, Lash Legend, Noam Dar, and I forget the other one's name. Anyway, so you're telling me a couple days after that whole segment goes, you release Jakaria Jackson? Why? Why couldn't you have her try to push herself as a singles competitor or something? Or heck, push Lash Legend and Jackson as the Meta Girls. Push them in tag division. You know what I mean? You could have gave Jackson and Lash a chance at tag gold, which I don't think they ever held tag gold. Which I want to talk about somebody else who didn't hold any singles gold. You're gonna find out here in a minute. And I'm going to probably be on here for a good minute, so you might as well pop a drink, get yourself some popcorn, do something, I don't care. Because this is going to be a minute. So, Jakaria Jackson and Lash Legend have not only had an opportunity at NXT Gold, but correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember them winning the NXT belts. They might have, but I'd have to go back and look at their achievement, accomplishments. I can't not find the word today because I'm so aggravated. I'm gonna have to go back and maybe I'll have to be like, oh my bad, maybe they did win tag gold. Unless a light bulb pops up in my head and says, oh yeah, remember when they won tag gold? NXT tag gold, I should say. The one thing they should have done was they should have had the Meta Girls win the main roster tag gold. But they didn't, because they didn't have plans for them being champions for some odd reason. And now here we are, literally a few days after that segment that Jackson was in, with Jackson, Lash, Noam Dar, and whoever that other guy was, all for the metaphors. You're telling me that Jackson gets released? You know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. Do not touch Lash Legend. She needs to go off on her own and actually prove herself as the dominant top dog in the women's division. She could actually take on anybody at any turn. She has a future not only on NXT, but on the main roster. She probably has a chance at probably someday becoming the Intercontinental Champion. Which it's possible, but you never know. Anyway, so on to the next. Gigi Dolan was a little shocking. I'm saving the best one for last, by the way. And so Gigi Dolan was another one that got released. And you're telling me that they couldn't have come up with plans for her and Tatum? Really? Because, like, wasn't those two a tag team before? Like, you could have put her and Tatum and, gave them an opportunity at something. I don't get it. Those two were actually a good team. I mean, come on. See, this is why when you realize that somebody doesn't have plans, that means they're probably going to end up getting released eventually. Like how apparently they didn't have plans for her to go anywhere in NXT apparently, so then she just ended up getting released. Now I'm going to end up saving the best one for last. The last one I want to talk about is Cora Jade. Oh, have mercy. Cora Jade got released from WWE and NXT. And I'm gonna here's a warning right here. I'm gonna end up going on a rant here in a second. So you're telling me that HBK, Shawn Michaels, and NXT does Cora Jade wrong, that you couldn't give her an opportunity at an NXT Women's Championship? Really? I don't get it. Like, why? You couldn't have gave her a singles gold in NXT when she had multiple opportunities. Like the Women's North American Championship, NXT Women's Championship, because about a month or two ago, Roxanne called out Cora for not having any gold. And Cora Jade was actually planning on winning gold. And then she lost that match. I think it was a fatal 4-way for the NXT Championship. And she lost that one. And then guess what? Then she had a match for the Women's North American Championship. She lost that one too. So, not only that, did they fumble her with not winning a singles title. They fumbled her by giving her a losing streak in NXT. Why do you think she went to TNA a couple times? Because she wanted to try winning a championship there. So that when I thought, oh, okay, when she had that match against the North American, I'm thinking of NXT. I'm talking about TNA now. When she crossed paths and went to TNA for a little bit and feuded with the Knockouts Championship, I thought, okay, so she lost the previous match in NXT for an opportunity at the NXT Women's Championship. It was either that or the North American Championship. I can't remember which match it was. Anyway, so then she went on to TNA's pay-per-view and challenged for the Knockouts title. I was like, okay, maybe she'll win a Knockouts title. She didn't win there either. So, was it that hard to put a singles championship on this woman and actually have plans for her to be a good champion? Or do you just not know how to treat your top stars? I actually counted on Cora Jade not to be released, I didn't think she was actually going to. I thought she actually had a bright future in NXT and stuff. And now turn around and she's getting released. If she goes back to TNA and actually signs with TNA, God, I'm really hoping that they actually do her better, than when she actually crossed paths with NXT and TNA. If she actually does sign a contract with TNA and actually becomes a TNA knockout, they better do her better or else we're going to have problems. That's it. I'm running out of time. I'll see y'all later. Get out of here.